Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Well, it's now time to review newspaper headlines, and of course we start with This Day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. And the major story on today's newspaper, that's This Day newspaper, is 2027. Defections shake PDP, LP, ADC as opposition fights to remain competitive. The writer says Makinde, only defection that matters is when hunger leaves Nigeria. Suit against PDP convention. Court document reveals NWC approved Chris Uche's appointment as legal representative. I mean, Steve, I think we've talked a bit about this,
Really?
this morning, the issue of mass defections and, of course, how the opposition parties are struggling to remain competitive, and relevant ahead of 2027.
I mean, yes, we did, and it's of course is just a good sense of news that This Day is leading with the same story. How the defections are shaking not just the PDP as the main opposition party, but also the Labour Party and the ADC, which was meant to be the coalition. And isn't it funny that a party that was formed to, as like the reservoir for those who might be disgruntled with either the ruling party APC or Labour or any other party, is not getting anybody anymore.
But is it possible that, they might just pull a surprise at the last minute? They've been kind of quiet. So is it possible maybe they are strategizing, re-strategizing?
It is possible that they might be re-strategizing, but then in re-strategizing, who will be your target, people? It's like a football club who is trying to poach, get star players, and then we see that another club is taking all the star players, the strikers, the goalkeepers, the defenders, but then who are you going to get? The those who are on the bench, or you go to a Division 2 to get people. So for me, it is not looking it's not looking encouraging for the ADC, because at the end of the day, it is unlikely that the governors who defected from the PDP or some of the lawmakers at the federal and state level from Labour Party will return to ADC. But of course, like you said earlier in the course of the program, you can't totally write off anything in politics, not just in Nigerian politics. And 24 hours is a long time in politics. But if you are reading it based on the little that we know of Nigerian politics, I'm not sure that if ADC will be able to pull the sort of surprise that they were hoping that they will be able to pull, given the fact that it still looks like 2 or 3 more governors will still join the ruling party. So it will be a tough call, but then don't write anybody off yet. Why you won't need to write anybody off will be if all the others left in the opposition are able to come back together. But then what would they be coming back for? Will it be for an individual to prosecute his ambition to be president, or will they have the courage to say, yes, let us all come together, but let a younger person, possibly somebody from the south, run against President Tinubu in 2027. Otherwise, it will be a tough call, to get...
So I guess we still have to wait and see.
We'll see. The time is still long, but we'll see how it goes.
Now, another story that I would like us to look at is the story just above the headlines, that Trump's advisor dismisses religious persecution allegations in Nigeria. That's Masad Bulus. I think he was speaking in Rome, where he talked about the fact that he knows that insecurity or religious extremism, happens everywhere. And he also acknowledged the fact that, in fact, Boko Haram has killed a lot more Muslims, than Christians, which is quite different from what the Ted Cruz's and the others, even President Trump himself has said. I hope there will not be any negative repercussions, for him saying otherwise.
Well, Masad Bulus, is as French or American as he is Nigerian, given the fact that he lived there, he ran businesses here. He was appointed a special advisor by President Trump, and we hope that President Trump will at least listen to him and consider all the facts of the matter Bulus is very right. There is no genocide going on anywhere in Nigeria. There's no genocide against Nigerians. Yes, there are killings. Yes, there are unfortunate, sad killings affecting practically everybody, which is the reason why we must ask government and the military establishment to do a lot more, so that we won't give rise to this sort of half narratives, falsehood that a particular set of people have been targeted on account of their religion. But the mere fact that those who are dying in a few states in Nigeria happen to be Christians cannot also be overlooked. And this is where the NSA, the army chiefs, and the president must do more than deny what is happening, but to control it and ensure that Nigerians are no longer dying. In my opinion, that is the only way that either Trump or any other person, Bill Maher, Ted Cruz, or any other person will say, okay, it looks like the government is on top and they are not complicit.
Exactly.
And this will also allow the government to stop the unwholesome attitude of engaging non-state actors, to be bringing non-state actors from America to come and be doing some silly fact-finding mission that they do not have any authority, whether here or abroad, to do. Because if things were to be okay, why would you have somebody just bringing in people and be saying you are coming on a fact-finding mission? Sent by who?
Exactly.
Bankrolled by who? For which cause? So it is important that we get that right. Yes, we must emphasize clearly that there's no genocide going on against Nigeria, so that we don't have unintended consequences in terms of intervention from other countries.
But while emphasizing that, we also must not forget that indeed there are killings going on that must be tackled, just like you said. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so finally on this day newspaper, we have in Washington, D.C., Cardoso Uzoka Anite rally global backing for Nigeria's reforms, says tax reform to unlock fiscal space, spur infrastructure investment, job creation. Of course, we know there are the IMF meetings. Our correspondent, Rutus Odiri, is there. He's doing a fantastic job, bringing us up to speed on what's happening there. And then, of course, we hope at the end of the day, that really they're able to sell Nigeria's image and that we get a lot of foreign investment and that the economy, picks up, going forward.
Absolutely. But I think that the CBN governor has done quite well, together with the Minister of State for Finance, who's also there, highlighting what the reforms are all about and what Nigeria needs to do to get it right. I think that's their core message to the international community, which they are doing quite well. Given the fact that the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, who ordinarily would have led the team, is not there on account of his ill health, but at least we have a formidable team representing Nigeria and giving the good news about what is happening in our country, even though it might not be eureka yet. But of course, they are highlighting the areas where things are going on in a way that is not too bad, but of course asking investors, the areas where they can come in, and I think that's commendable. Should we go to Saturday Vanguard?
Yes, please.
And look at a few stories. I think there are 2 or 3 important stories there. The banner headline there says revealed. It's like a bit of a screaming headline, but of course it's an important subject that the editor of Saturday Vanguard has chosen to highlight. 270 enclaves of terrorist bandits in Nigeria. 270. And I believe that this is as a result of investigative journalism and, of course, relying on facts and reports that highlight where these enclaves of terrorists are. And the riders, how criminals seize the country's forests, creeks, and highways. Tragic tales of blood, tears, lamentations from north to south. This is the flip side of the story that we have just treated on the cover of this day, about whether there's genocide or there's no genocide. If there's genocide at all, it is genocide against Nigerians. It is genocide against innocent Nigerians who continue to die needlessly because of the terrorist group that we have allowed to fester. This is not to say that our military establishment is not doing enough.
Yeah, they just need to do more.
They just need to do more.
I mean, 270 enclaves of terrorists, that's a lot. And if Vanguard, can get this report, definitely, with all the intelligence gathering, with all the amount of money that has been, pushed into the Nigerian army, the equipment that they've been given, definitely we should expect better from them. They should be able to find out these enclaves. They should be able to take over, recover territory from the forest, from these bandits. We cannot allow this to continue.
Really
and, this is what continues to fuel the narrative of genocide, and all the unsavory tales that we are hearing about Nigeria on the international scene.
Very correct. Another story, Yoruba royals split over burial traditions. Kings should not be butchered like animals after death. That's Oluwo of Iwoland. He knows how to cause controversy.
He does.
Doesn't he? And then it's unacceptable to abandon tradition for foreign religion. That's the DG of Akure land. Step aside if you won't practice our tradition, or lower or for what tells monarchs. And last but not the least, we are ready to fight to defend the soul of our heritage. That's traditionalists. This thing has always been there. I think it was the death of the Awujale of Ijebu land, whoever, secret, I don't know who passed on the other time, and there were controversies over how should he be buried, the Muslim way or the traditional way. This is not something that
but then I'm wondering, I would want to believe that they know what they signed up for, so really if you're going to be practicing,
except in the few communities, in the few cities, like in Ibadan, for example, where they are very Republicans, and there is never a controversy as to who will be the next king. It has always been an unwritten rule that your religion, the religion you may choose to practice, has nothing to do with the culture of the throne. And therefore, if you're a Christian Noba, you're allowed to go to church. If you're a Muslim Noba, you're allowed to go to. It doesn't disturb anything. Maybe in a few other cities, like,
no, but I think even in other cities, it doesn't disturb when they are alive. Some of them do go to churches, some of them go to mosque, depending on the religion they choose to practice. But for them to want to determine how they will be buried, I think they're pushing it a bit too far, considering what they signed up for. I mean, they went through all the rights Steve, my point is this: before they get, they get to the throne, they do a lot of rites that we know that these obas go through, and you go through them. If you are willing to go through them to get to the throne, why then don't you? Why then are you trying to preserve your body after death?
How do we know that they signed that any part of their body should go anywhere?
I mean, you've given your consent, really. If you don't want that to happen to you, I mean, I don't think being an Oba is by force, is it? You can reject it.
If it is by right, and you believe that you know what the rules and the beliefs are.
Exactly, you know the rules and the beliefs, and you accept it.
My point is that who are those who upon death will try and snatch, the corpse of a dead Oba? That has to be clearly defined. But like I said, this is not a matter that that mere mortals should dabble too much into. Lastly, on the cover of Saturday Vanguard, this is an announcement from the Guild, Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE. Editors shift annual conference to November. That story is on page 7, November 11th to 14th. And Tinubu, the president, will declare it open. It was meant to hold between 3rd and 6th of November. But I think that there are issues around that date, and then which warranted a shift to November 11th to 14th. And that will be a big conference. ANEC, it is called, for the All Nigerian Editors Conference. It will now hold still the same Abuja, but now between 11th and 14th, with the president declaring it open.
Which is good news, and hopefully crucial issues will be brought up, issues of press freedom, things affecting journalists, and how we can continue to operate in a free environment and, do a better job, of our practice.
Absolutely, that's the role of the Nigerian.
Okay, so I don't know if we have time for one more newspaper. Shall we quickly take the Nation? On the headline is Genocide, Boko Haram, ISIS killing more Muslims than Christians, Trump advisor. We talked about that earlier. Masad Boulos, he says the U.S. is satisfied with Tinubu's handing of Tinubu's handling of farmer-herder conflict, and he pledged support. Also, we have key ADC members to join APC soon. That's Yowada. You know, like we all know, we know that the mass defections are still looming. We haven't seen the end of it. You know, we've talked about that earlier. And then Uzodinma, that's the Imo State governor, says Tinubu's policies making Nigeria rich again. Fiscal reforms yielding results, says APC Governors Forum. You know, for those that are yet to feel the impact of the reforms, they might disagree, but who knows what these governors are seeing, you know, for them to say such. Well, I guess that's all we'll have time for.
Just something that I think our readers, you know, will enjoy. Punch says, unusual cough, fever, stir panic in Lagos, and that COVID may be back, so people should be careful.
Yes.
All right? That brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching, and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde. And I'm Temitope Fagbemi. From our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.